Welcome back. I'm Randy Bueller, joined by Steve Menendian. I promised spice. Did I at least deliver spice?
Yawgmoth couldn't be prouder of you. It was every old school Type 1 player is a big fan of Yawgmoth. You brought him in spades, which no one's been able to do since 1999. So it was amazing.
There was no Notion Thief in 1999. Man, I thought I had it. I thought I had it. Turn 1 defense grid into turn 2 win easy through anything Notion Thief, basically.
Yeah.
I don't even think Stony Silence would have stopped me there. Not that he has it. I mean, I figured out he was Grixis by then, but.
Well, in the first game, we were wondering whether you were going to show and tell in the bargain.
Did he have Thief?
He had the Thief. So we were like, please, Randy, don't play show and tell. And you went the bargain route, and you had an easy win there. But it was still entertaining. We haven't seen that in so long. In fact, Rachel and I were saying we don't think we've seen the DAC Notion Thief combo since season 1. It's been a while since we've seen that played. The other thing is, I mean, Yawgmoth's bargain is awesome, but you had Dark Petition, and we couldn't quite tell. Did you have a Necropotence in there?
Of course.
Yeah, of course you ran the skull.
Necropotence in there.
So you had a ready-made answer for the Notion Thief.
I did. Yeah. Necropotence would have actually worked through it. You know what's even better than Yawgmoth's bargain and Necropotence? Picking them up with paradoxical outcome. Like, I'm out of life. Like, I have games with this deck where, like, I'll play a Necro up, 8 cards, 10 cards, whatever, and then I get to my next turn and I put a bargain into play because I don't want to wait. I just want the rest of the cards, and then I pick them all up with outcome. Deck is so fun. So fun.
It looks awesome. You had some tough choices. You just ran into a really... I mean, Eric kind of had a brutal start on you. It's like you got the defense grid, and then he was like, I'll just play Mox and Soul Ring both games 2 and 3. Like, just completely negate your defense grid. But
yep. Well, I mean, I only got like 2 turns. He went Time Walk, Snap, Time Walk, and set up the Vault Key. It's funny, I even have Chain of Vapor to break up a Vault Key one shot, except my own defense grid prevents me from doing it. It's like, I needed the chain. I needed the chain in game 2, and then I needed the... it was close. Well, you got to see what the deck does in game 1, obviously. That is... And it does that. Like,
I have no doubt that you will be comboing out more before the night is over. So I will give that to you.
Yeah, I mean, you and Rachel both have Stony Silence, which I don't enjoy, but I still have rituals and enough land that Stony Silence is not game over. It's awkward, and there are draws that it will devastate, but I'm not like, oh no, they've got Stony Silence.
No. One of the issues that we... Yeah, Notion Thief is probably like your worst nightmare, and you still had answers for it with Necro and Chain. One of the things that I was looking for is whether you're going to bring in Tinker to fight Notion Thief, despite the fact.
So I thought about it. I actually think we might have a deck list graphic that might be worth putting up while we.
Yeah, let's do it.
I thought about bringing in Tinker for game 3. The problem is Dak Faden. Like, I brought it into my list, and I looked at it, and I'm like, but he's got all these Dak Fadens.
It's pick your poison, though, right? I mean, you've got to deal with one or the other. So, plus Tinker allows you in corner cases to tinker up the defense grid. I guess you just need Inkwell Leviathan.
This list is not quite right. The Tinker's not in the main deck. I'm not sure what else is wrong. 5, 15. Looks like 5. There's some extra cards in the main deck here. We'll get the right list posted. I actually put a link in the chat, so we've got the right list posted. Yeah, the 4th defense grid's in the side. This deck is close. Like, I'm not convinced I have it built perfectly. I mean, whatever. We're early in the season. I'm just trying things out. Yeah, there are like 5 sideboard cards randomly shuffled in here. It is good though, and it is close. I don't know if it's tier 1 like this. It's a little bit of a glass cannon. But then it's like, are you supposed to have 4 bargains or 3? Are you supposed to have 2 show and tells or 3? Like, I have 4 bargain, 2 show and tell. The show and tells have been great. I'm actually tempted to add another show and tell. And then, like, I have some cantrips in the main, right? I have the probe, the ponder, the brainstorm. They're kind of mediocre. Like, you kind of want to go so fast that I don't know if you have time to mess around with those.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, maybe I need 1 more Mox, 1 more fast mana, and in particular, like a Chrome Mox or an Opal that can be picked up with an outcome. 3 outcomes it's not 4 outcomes. It's 2 or 3 on the outcome front.
It's clear there are a lot of deck choices. You've got a lot of options.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to assess. one thing I know is that you and Eric are bringing the spice, and Rachel and I are the spoil sports here.
Yeah,
But we will be on some spice. I guarantee you in coming trimesters. But
all right, well, sounds like our next match is ready. Let's go watch some more vintage. All right, here we go. Eric with the Grixis Thieves deck. There's that Notion Thief. It looks pretty crappy in that hand, though. Take it, Notion Thief. Rachel, meanwhile, with her mentor list.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I had a problem with Magic Online earlier where I was trying to press a button and I kept hearing like a Castlevania sound where you get like hurt, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. I kept trying to it was like a small bug in Magic Online, but I rebooted it and it got restarted fine. But what's going on in Rachel's hand?
They're playing.
Oh,
they
okay.
Message because Magic Online crashed. They don't know that we've crashed. It's only our spectator client that we lost.
Rachel is a fast player.
All right. She'll go in the tank from time to time, but when she's got a plan, she definitely executes it quick. So turn one.
Throw that deck out there as quickly as she can.
Yeah, all right.
She's got force and misstep.
Wow.
It's just Eric's in a hole here. Big hole.
You forced this ancestral, right?
I would.
And all we missed was land, and then on Rachel's second turn on the play, she goes for the DAC, so Eric goes for the he didn't want to ancestral an untapped mana, that's for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, I
get rid of the Stony Silence, 3 land. She's all set up.
When you have DAC, you just want to be stealing your opponents anyway. So, wow, use all your mana here and get a DAC activation. Eric's in a big hole. See, he's got Dig, Jace, Notion Thief. It looks like Brainstorm and Tinker. Is that right?
Dig, Jace,
God!
Notion Thief, Flusterstorm. Tinker.
Oh God! Gosh.
Yeah, he's gonna fluster. He's like, I don't want you taking an extra turn while you've got a Planeswalker.
She hasn't made a land drop here anyway, so she can still just gush, get some value, and DAC.
Right.
One of the interesting questions about DAC that I haven't quite figured out, despite playing it since like 2014, I guess, is when you try and go for the ramp plan. Like, when do you try and actually ultimate, And it's tricky because if you're playing with Pyroblasts, it means that, you just get to start stealing things. But good God, Rachel. Oh, God. Oh, boy.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the situation, right? I mean, it's brutal in a situation like this where she could Pyroblast Eric's Underground Sea, right? And then take it with DAC in 2 turns if she wanted to. Not saying she's going to go that route. Seems unlikely, given her level of dominance. Oh, well.
She may do it. Oh, geez, there's the mentor. She may do it accidentally. It's not like there's any artifacts to steal, right? DAC is just heading up.
This is silly. She's drawn all these cards are restricted for a reason. She just draws all of them.
She chose an interesting line there, right? She used her land drop on the strip mine, which means no mentor unless she's willing to commit the pearl first, right. And no mind sculptor.
Right. It's not like she's necessarily in a hurry, right? I mean, she's got, especially if she's going to, who needs the mind trap? She's got. Okay, well, I guess she just wants to go for it. I can't blame her. Eric's seen enough. Just like restricted card after restricted card. And none of these cards were restricted 3 years ago. They're all just all restricted now.
Those Notion Thieves look really good. I mean, it's basically playing a similar role to the reason everyone had Leovold.
Leovold. Yeah, it is. It's the 2-color Leovold. It's an interesting way to position yourself. It's like, well, you know, if you're playing Leovold, you expose yourself to certain kinds of things, and you get certain kinds of things. So why not just, you know, get kind of some of the effect of Leovold with Notion Thief, which has a lot of upside. I mean, being flash, you know, being able to surprise, jump in this in a moment's notice is really nice. But both Rachel and I have max Pyroblast and 3 Swords to Plowshares, so hopefully I'll be well positioned against that. So interest.
I guess I'm just glad I drew that Lotus in game 1 and didn't have to show and tell down my bargain. It would have been quite. He shows down a Notion Thief.
The only point of debate, I think, in the first game is whether you, when you play turn 1 to my tutor, whether you get the Mana Crypt or the Sapphire. And I agree. I think you get the Sapphire is right. You get a little bit more mana, but
exactly what I was thinking about. Would you have gone for it on turn 1, game 2? Like, instead, I played a defense grid on the first turn of game 2. I could have just gone Dark Ritual Show and Tell.
You know what? I don't remember now. You have to remind me of the full hand.
Well, I mean, it's basically I have Dark Ritual, Show and Tell, land, box, defense grid. I think I have to play the defense grid. Like,
yeah, no, I would have gone defense grid too. I played it your way. Oh my God, Rachel's drawn Ancestral and Dig. Not only does she have Ancestral, but she's got the Pyroblast to protect it. It's insane.
And with the Ruby.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other key part. How brutal. Eric's gonna.
Eric will have Mana Drain up when he passes the first turn and a misstep.
Yeah.
And I want Mana Drain to be good. I'm not convinced it is, but I really want it to be good.
I'm a skeptic. I understand. I understand that
you're a skeptic about whether it's actually good, right?
Yes. Yeah. I'm not
mind playing big blue control decks if they were viable.
No, I've definitely played many big blue control decks in both old school and actually back in the day in 94, 95. As well as like in the mid aughts. I played Psychotog, you know, all that kind of.
Oh, wow. This is going to work out really well for Eric. Well, no, not quite. I guess he gets the Mana Drain mana this turn. Like, she waited for his upkeep. But because Rachel correctly waited for his upkeep, he doesn't get an untapped step. So he's not going to be able to use this mana for much of anything.
Right. He's not going to be able to, like, drain into Jace here.
Like, for a minute, I thought Jace was going to be on, right? This one from the Mana Drain. But I'm like, oh, no. We're on his upkeep. It's all good.
Oh, man. And that play worked out really well for her because she drew a force to be able to stop this, the Jace. So I didn't get a chance to comment on this, but I think Rachel sideboarded out one of her Stony Silence, which is really interesting against a Key Vault deck. I don't think I would have done that. It is possible to over sideboard Stony Silence decks. I don't know if you've noticed some of these the league events, and I played in quite a bit of the leagues.
Leagues are so good, aren't they?
Oh, they are so much fun.
They're so fun.
They're so much fun. They're tricky though because I've been playing a lot in the leagues, and I don't want my deck to be published, before the VSL. So I think I have like 6 or 7 4-1s where I've made sure I've lost at least one match to not get. Yeah, but what's interesting here is that it's really easy to over sideboard Stony Silence. Brian Kelly and others have innovated Ray of Evolution in the sideboard, which is really effective in the kind of blue-green paradoxical decks.
Yep.
Blue-green-white paradoxical decks, because you can Ray of Revelation and you have to spend like 2 forces to counter it. So it's anyway, we're missing the
Yeah. So Eric goes for Treasure Cruise, not Jace. He's going to use that to bait out the permission that he smelled. She pitches Dig Through Time to Force of Will. She couldn't quite cast the dig, so it's merely Force of Will fodder. And now Eric, he cleared the path, got through the Force of Will. Here comes Jace the Mind Sculptor. She's going to have to, he can only keep one of those, so she basically needs to top deck a Pyroblast, or Eric is just going to run away with the second game.
Well, if you want an answer, if you want to find something to get you back in the game, it's Dak Faden. Dak Faden is going to get rid of this pretty dead Swords to Plowshares and fairly dead third land and get you some gas here.
I mean, it helps, but Dak still loses in a fight to Jace.
Well, yeah, but Dak can. I mean, I guess we don't exactly know how these decks are constructed, but I mean, you're right. But Rachel's looking for something like Gush, right? To bring her right back in this. So, or a delve draw spell. The dagger.
She has to find it right away.
That's so interesting. I agree with that. But it is a card that can.
Yes, yeah. Use Jace yet. Like.
I know. I'm wondering, like, aren't you just looking for Notion Thief here? Like, if he had just jaced instead of playing Preordain, he would have drawn that Notion Thief, landed the Notion Thief, and then he would have been fine.
Because Notion Thief.
I'm sorry?
Would have drawn what Notion Thief?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's covering the little.
Oh yeah, the covering picture.
Yeah.
He knew his top card from his jace on the previous turn, so I think he wanted to preordain through a card that he knew was bad. And he obviously sees a lot more cards by preordaining and then jacing.
Yeah, I thought the Time Vault was Notion Thief. All I could see was the top of the card. Now I see it's very much a Time Vault, not a Notion Thief.
Yeah, he's close to Vault Key, but he's 2 mana short.
So if he keys, if he DTs here, he can get the key, but he can't play them because he needs to get both into play at the same time.
He could play, through DAC is obviously a problem.
It's going to be extremely interesting how he tries to pull this off if Rachel goes for this Remora. So it's I don't think you want to be greedy on it. I think I would just DT for Notion Thief. Let's just get this over with, right? I mean, who needs the key vault? Your opponent's DAC is going to be that's also pretty effective.
Okay,
that's DT a good line.
Pyro. Down goes DAC Fade.
I
think gets to snap her Ancestral, or she gets to try snap Ancestral. Eric is going to use his force to stop that, I would imagine.
But she's going to play the Remora first.
Fair. God, I wonder how good Remora is against me. I guess if I get a defense grid, then it
doesn't matter. Yeah. unless you're facing Notion Thief. Like show and tell that they play Notion Thief. Yeah, I played many games with combo with defense grid in play, and my opponent has what's the there's a large blue creature that's like whenever you draw a card, your opponent draws the controller draws 2. Yeah. What is that?
Consecrated Sphinx.
Yeah, Consecrated Sphinx. I played many games where my opponent has like 18 cards in hand from Consecrated Sphinx, but I've got the defense grid, and I just am winning.
So Eric does force a will to stop Snapcaster. She gets a card via Remora, but Eric can't let her snap an Ancestral, that's for sure. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
He got rid of the DAC, so presumably he's got a Blightsteel in there to tinker for.
Right. I mean, the Tinker is also nice because he gets a free shuffle. The Tinker actually performs the role of shuffling. But once again, you'd rather have Inkwell Leviathan in this situation. And I mean, it just so happens that Rachel's perfectly got that set up with the plow in hand. So, yeah, I mean, Eric has taken the tack here. Okay, I'm going to wait out this Remora and just build my Jace, or just Jace, get card advantage. Which I think makes sense. It is interesting to think about what would have happened if Eric had DT'd for the Notion Thief instead of the Pyroblast. It's not clear to me that Rachel would be in a substantially stronger position just because, the cards she has are good. It'd probably be a marginally better position. But the Notion Thief would have been plowed pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think the existence of Plow in her list, along with Pyroblast, makes Notion Thief just a significantly sketchier answer.
I think I would be tempted. I don't know when you pivot, but I would be tempted to Fate Seal Rachel. Mm-hmm. Maybe at this point he still wants to go for the, the main. It's not like you're playing cards into the Mystic Remora, and meanwhile she's going to be tying up her mana every turn. So, on the other hand, he is continuing to build his mana so that at some point, if he does need to play a force, he can pay for the Remora.
It's true. Remora does not just auto draw cards, and I think she's looking over at 6 mana, looking at her hand of 3 and 4 mana threats. She's like, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
She could absolutely have gone Force of Will and pay for Remora, no card for you.
Yeah,
Instead, he gets hard cast Force of Will.
So folks who don't know what we're talking about, Remora has a trigger that you can pay 4 mana to prevent the controller of the Remora from drawing a card. Rarely used, but it does come up. There's the Yawgmoth's Will, and now it's time. It's time to will, right?
Yeah.
Tinker for Lotus will. The old Tinker for Lotus Yawgmoth's Will play. Well, he doesn't even need to do that now.
He's got Tinker for a key. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still Tinker. What?
It doesn't.
Away. I would have tried to resolve Tinker before I shuffled away Yawgmoth's Will.
I agree.
I guess he's got Pyroblast, so even Force of Will doesn't stop him. There may be literal nothing that stops him. She'd have to have Force of Will, blue card, Mindbreak Trap, I think.
Yeah.
Well, she has none of that, so
Rachel
Vault just works.
Rachel should have brought in that. I guess she's put. There she is. She's immediately moving back in that Stony Silence. Interesting. It looks like, wow, Eric has got some, I was going to say some unorthodox sideboard plans here, but he's hedging on the Notion Thief. He has 1 in the sideboard. He had a Force in the sideboard.
I would have multiple Forces in my sideboard if I was him, I think.
Against this deck? I don't know.
She's not going to kill you quickly. It's not like she's combo killing you. You're playing a grindy value game, aren't you? Isn't he just Grixis value? I don't want a 2-for-1 myself, especially against an opponent with Pyroblasts.
The deck has so many game plans, but if you're going to go that route, shouldn't you have the second Notion Thief in? Like if you're going the grindy game plan and you want to be able to, like, you know, pick off your opponent or kind of surprise them, I would think you would want the second Notion Thief.
Reasonable. I mean, I think it's vulnerable to Pyroblast as well.
Right, but you can even if it gets Pyroblasted, you can still get, you know, momentary value out of it.
Fair. I didn't notice any. I don't know what cards.
I have no idea. That's not a criticism of Eric's choices. I have no idea. It's clearly challenging, and I don't know. I'm just saying that I'm just acknowledging how difficult it is. Wow. So, Rachel's already mulliganed to 6. She has a Pyroblast, but once again, no red mana. She does have a Ponder. So, but she does have Force.
You keep if you're Rachel.
Oh yeah,
Eric's hand doesn't do much either. He's all in on that Brainstorm,
right?
And he can't really do it and shuffle until turn 2, unless he waits till turn 2.
if he had the second Notion Thief and drew it, it would be pretty good. Right here, he could just Notion Thief and protect it with Force. Good luck beating that, Rachel, with all the cantrips, right?
Right. I think I am with you. I would have 2 Notion Thieves in my deck if I was Eric.
I mean, I think you have to pick a plan. And what I mean by that is your plan might be a multiplicity of plans. It might be I'm going to, you know, that's plan as well. But one plan is I'm just going to be like the combo deck, right? Another, you know, with the Key Vault, Tinker, Yawg-Will. Another plan is I'm going to go
Tinker.
Wow.
You can Tinker with Force backup. Like, don't you just do that?
I think you've got to. The alternative is just setting up Brainstorm and shuffling. But her, I mean, you've got to assume she sideboarded out some number of plows, right? I mean,
yeah, look, if you put Tinker in your deck, you're going to get draws where you're just like, man, I hope this works, but let's go for it. When you have Tinker and the Force of Will backup, like, I think it would be correct to Tinker here, even if Eric didn't have the Force of Will backup.
There's a lot of ways it can go haywire. I mean, she could have Mindbreak Trap, but you've got extra Moxen, right? Yeah. So it's not like you need that Pearl. Even if she has to like spend a ton of resources to find a plow and she gets there, you know, you've gotten some, you know, there are trade-offs.
Yep, so, she forces, he's going to force back, and down comes presumably Blightsteel Colossus.
What do you think of the chances? Sheep, interesting. She pitched the pawn. I don't know if I would have done that.
She debated whether to pitch Preordain or Time Walk. I think you're supposed to keep the Preordain because you still
agree
with it.
Yep.
All right.
Oh man, she's got a one outer here. I also have balance in my sideboard, but I wouldn't bring in balance in this match. Here we go, and oh, Eric. Nice done, Eric. Very entertaining. Cool.
All right. Eric Froehlich, ladies and gentlemen. Get this. He's 2-0. Who would have thought?
Yeah, big
Eric
surprise.
on track to make the playoffs for the 7th consecutive season. There's never been a playoff without him. So
Eric tweeted not long ago. He said he had the most losses of anyone in the VSL, which I find hard to believe. But even if it's true, it's because A, he's played in the most matches in the VSL.
He also has the most wins in VSL history.
I was gonna say, and he's also been in every season, so
Guess how many playoff matches Eric has played over the course of all these seasons?
12.
They're best 3 out of 5, right?
It's probably
42.
Oh my god! Matches?
Best 3 out of 5. We're counting all of those, right? He has one matchup against, LSV, and they play 4 matches, and then the next round is 5 matches, and if you add it up, he's played.
I was counting each of those as a match, but yeah, that's right.
Well, no, you have to, but I think that's the right way to count. He counted it up. He's 42 matches ahead of people like you and me who've been in, all the seasons, or I guess you missed one season. Even people who've been in all the seasons, he's up like 40 matches on us.
Unbelievable.
That's like 4 seasons.
All
Anyway,
right.
Eric has right back where he normally is, trying to finish off 3-0, see if he can be tied with Reed for first place. But that'll have to wait. He's got 1 match left. He's actually going to be in the booth for the next 2. I believe his match against you is the one that's left, right?
Yes. I play him at the end of the...
Yeah, you guys are last. So here you see the schedule. Rachel with both a win and a splat. She's sitting on 1-1. Eric with the 2 wins. That means you and I are about to battle to see who can feel decent and who is like, please don't send me to 0-3. Good luck, Steve.
All right. Yeah, you too. Looking forward to it. Should be fun.
Should be fun. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.
Need the latest Magic the Gathering singles for Constructed? Casual cards